So here we go. Alright, Fearless. We're gonna do easy crushing. We're gonna do no, I'm not gonna do easy crushing blows. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go by the requirement. Okay, so as you all know in Fearless, when it comes to her using her Adenian Twister, alright, so as you see from the Adenian Twister, the requirement is my Fatal Blow has to be in cooldown, which means one of the two things. One of three things, actually. It hits, and if my opponent is somehow left alive, then I get to use the Crushing Blow. Now, her Fatal Blow is one of the weakest Fatal Blows in the game. You just saw there, 310. Most Fatal Blows in the game average between 325, 330-ish. And hers comes in at 310, and quite frankly, it scales the hardest in the game without question thanks to this. But that's another thing. But just going into this, we got, Fatal Blow whiffing. Gives you access to this, which they're already falling at a substantially fast rate right there. See, look at how quickly they're falling. You're not really going to get a whole lot out of the fact that you're getting that Crushing Blow because they're falling so damn quick. And then on top of that, of course, let me go ahead on here with block mode. Alright, so I'm going to take her off the block. Alright, so now it's in cooldown. I get access to the Crushing Blow. And no, I do not get my Fan-Nado or anything else after that. Basically, after I get that Crushing Blow, I'm only left with things like back 1-4, low fan toss, back 1-4, high fan toss, stand 1-2 fan toss, or a quick execution, or whatever. I'm basically left getting a very limited follow-up, to say the least. And quite frankly, when you see the damage that I'm getting out of all of it, even if I supplement that with a jump kick, unless I'm spending another bar or something like that, I'm not even going to see 35%. So really, it's a Crushing Blow that's just, it's lacking on so many levels. And then on top of that, here's the thing that really pains me the most. When you use this Crushing Blow, here's the thing. When you use this Crushing Blow, oh yeah, we're going to get into that, Trizzy. The string whiffing and the Liu Kang's parry, we'll get into that. But when you use this when you have this Crushing Blow loaded, if your opponent dies after the crushing or after the Fatal Blow, or dies in the round that you use the Fatal Blow, and you don't activate that Adenian Twister Crushing Blow, you will no longer have access to that Adenian Twister Crushing Blow. It's gone for the rest of the fight. It's use it or lose it in that round if your opponent is somehow living after you've activated that Fatal Blow and killed them with, or hit them with the Fatal Blow. If they blocked it, or if you whiff it and you don't use it, and you get the Crushing Blow, or if you get the Fatal Blow later on in the match, you still have access to it. So you still have access to it. However, if you hit your opponent in, like, say, round 1, for example, and they don't die, and you somehow, or if they die in that round after you've used the Fatal Blow and you still have that Crushing Blow loaded, you don't have it anymore. You don't have it for the rest of the fight. It's gone. Goes poof. Gone forever. You have no more access to it. So there's one of the few Crushing Blows you have in this game gone. Thanks to that. And let me show you. It just goes and shows that triggers a Fatal Blow is on cooldown. Which cooldown hit, block, whiff, doesn't matter. But if your opponent dies after your Fatal Blow hits them, or if they die in the round in which the Fatal Blow is used to hit them, and you don't use that Crushing Blow, it's gone. Forever. It's gone. And I've illustrated that in multiple streams and whatnot, and yep, that just has not been changed. And then of course you go to Fan-Nado. Look at that Fan-Nado startup. Look at Fan-Nado startup. 29 frames of startup. 29 frames of startup on this shit, which is exactly why I usually don't get the combos that I deserve to get. Like say back 2-3-1. We're gonna go into that back 2-3-1. See that? Doesn't combo. 1-2 doesn't combo. Back 1-3 doesn't combo. 2-1 doesn't combo. 3-2 doesn't combo. 3-2-1-2. Well, this shit's just flat out useless. This shit's like, what the fuck? Here's another thing. You know, of course we know back 1-4 does combo. Here's a crazy thing. Stand 2 combos into this shit. Like what? Like what? My 13 frame high starter, which should be a 9 frame or an 8 frame high starter. I mean, it combos into this shit. Like what? Bro, what? Like why? Oh yeah, and let's go ahead and let me show you something real silly. All right, let me show you something. Oh no, let's stay on track with 2-3-1. Let me show you this. 2-1-4-3-4. What does that look like I have access to? What does it look like she should be able to do when this lands? 2-1-4-3-4. 2-1-4-3-4. This shit looks like I should be getting an enhanced air toss, a fan toss, an enhanced square wave, or a square wave if I've got any one of those variations with the square wave. I should be getting an Edenian Twister and Fearless. Dude, I should be getting so many things off of this string when this shit hits. This should be like one of her major punishment strings where I get a nice combo or something like that when this hits. I don't get access to that. Instead, I'm left with the fact that this shit just does less than 15% damage, and I don't even get to have air fan, the wave, or nothing cancel into that shit. Like why? Like why? Like why? Why does she not get access to that? And then of course you got 2-1, 2-2, 2-2, and it's just like, what the fuck's the point of this? Like what's the point of this besides that pointless brutality that she's got in this? It's a mid, it's another, and let me show you the frame data on all this shit. See, look at all the frame data she's got. All right, -5, -6, -5, -1 off back 1-3-1, -7, -4, -7, -6, -7, -5, -7, -7, -12, -7, -6, -12, -7. It's like, seriously, man. Shit, y'all couldn't give her one fucking frame trap? Like -7, -7, -7, -7, -7, -6, -5, -7, -7, -7. I mean, seriously, 2-1 has always been a good frame trapping normal for her in the previous games. Mortal Kombat 9, this shit was a beautiful auto shimmy frame trap to where it put people in the wrong position to try and press buttons if they blocked 2-1. And on top of that, Standing 2 was one of her best anti-airs in that game. Mortal Kombat X, this shit was a unit for her. Frame Trap City, +2 on block. Stand 2 was 9 frames and +2 on block. 2-1 was +2 on block. 2-1-2 was a quick punishment combo starting normal string for her that led to some decent damage. 2-1 in this game, look at this shit. I get nothing off of this. I mean, all I'm doing is just handing the keys back to my opponent. Yeah, it's -7. It's your turn again. -6. It's your turn again. I mean, all I'm doing is just giving them their turn again, and I get nothing if I get the hit. I mean, seriously. Seriously, it's so wrong. And then, of course, we get to back 2. All right, so let's go to this. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. We're going to do... No, we're going to do jump. We're going to do jump. Look at that. And look at that. She gets to just flat out blow me up because, you know, I'm just left at God knows how many negative frames on this shit. Watch this also. Yeah, right there. Right there. And I gotta commit to all of this shit. You know, for this, 4-2-3-4 is the best follow-up I get off of, but if I do that shit at max range, I gotta be right up on them in order for this to work, and even then it's inconsistent. I gotta somehow move up, and when I move up like that in order to try and follow this up, I'm wasting my frame advantage to do that, at which point my opponent will see that shit and actually hit me out of my follow-up. And if you really want to see something crazy, hold on, I need to see something about, no, never mind, I'm gonna switch it up. Yeah, it's like, get fucked, Kitana. Your dial strings that they put in for you actually get you fucked up whenever you whiff on that shit when you're at an advantage to use it as a follow-up. Yeah, get fucked. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, check this out. Let me go to Cetrion right quick. She's a good example.
Special Forces Desert Command.
Trizzy, it wouldn't be broken. I mean, seriously, if we're talking about, I mean, Jade stagger pressure, that shit is borderline broken. This shit would actually help Kitana live because I don't have any plus frames or anything like that on block for the opponent to fear. If the opponent knows how to block or not jump or anything like that, then that shit really wouldn't be a stagger that anybody would consider broken on any level. But here's the thing. Here's another thing when it comes to forward 2. Let me show you something. We'll record this. Watch this. Yeah, see that? See that? 4-2 doesn't even connect. 4-2 doesn't even connect if I try to use this shit as a reversal on shit like this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that! Look at that, bro! Look at that! Look at that shit, boy! And I was not blocking at all when I recorded that little sequence that I've got Cetrion doing with down 3, down 4. Like, shit, man! Come on! Come on! God, get fucked! This is supposed to be a forward advancing scooping mid, and she's not connecting. Like, what the fuck, boy? Like, bro! Look at this pathetic nonsense. Like, bro, look at that. Look at that. That is so wrong. And this doesn't just happen with Cetrion, mind you. This happens across the board with any character who's got any kind of a lower profiling or any kind of a profiling crouching normal. Down 3, down 4, does not fucking matter. If I try to use forward 2 as a means to try and react to that shit and follow it up and actually, you know, take the offensive, my shit's gonna whiff, their shit's gonna hit me, and next thing you know, I'm gonna be in a position where I'm somehow back on the defensive, even though all I was doing was following up on a frame advantage that was rightfully mine. How's that fair? How's that fair? How is that fair? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if you try and meaty somebody with this shit, I'm glad you're saying something, Horizon, because if you meaty somebody with this shit, you're actually gonna wind up eating a down 3 or something, because once your forward 2 misses, or once your back 1 misses, or anything like that, she's in for so much pain, it's not even funny. And because shit passes by so quickly, it's just not fun to deal with. Look at that, back 1 doesn't help me. Because back one is so ungodly slow in this situation. It's just like, why would I rely on it? Look at that. 13 frame startup. Get fucked. Frame startup. Get fucked. Oh yeah, and let's see how far I'm out of range on that. Hold on. Well, I'm actually trying to. So you gotta stick with somehow getting back at them right there with. Yeah, and then check that out. Look how inconsistent that shit is. Look at that shit. Just not fun shit to deal with if you're in her shoes because her mids are just so slow. And let me record something else. Let me show you something else. And in fact, no, I don't need to record. I can just have her jump. Alright, so let me show you something. Alright, so Alright, so this is the normal reaction right there with back 3-4. Alright, so we're switching on to her back 3. Back 3-4 sends are flying horizontally. That's really the only thing I get right there. Unless I have the ground war attached and then I get the Adenian Twister on the ground. I can connect back 3-4 into the Adenian Twister. Or I can connect back 3-4 into the square wave if I'm in fanfare. Okay? That's usually the only thing I can get. But let me show you something else that's really effed up. Let me show you what's really effed up about this. Or something really in general that if she had it in her arsenal all the way around the board, whether it's grounded in the air, it would really help her game out, especially if this move were made faster or whatever. Let me show you. Look at that. If I catch her in the air, she is in pop-up state so that I can get a proper combo and a proper follow-up. And let me show you how far I can take this. Yeah, see that? See that? I get decent damage off that. This gives you some ideas on how far she can take that. Hell, in normal situations, I can even get the Fan NATO to friggin' connect on this. And I can get a little something. See? Why can't she have this reaction as the standard instead of me having to wait if my opponent is airborne? How's that right? And I have to somehow be fortuitous enough to catch them at the right angle for this shit to work. Look at that. See, look at that. Dude, her jump 2 is so slow, Trizzy. What people don't understand is that when Kitana commits to jump 2, she's not going to win any air-to-airs. She's not going to win any air-to-airs with this shit. She's not, jump 1 is your best thing that you want to rely on if you're trying to win an air-to-air. And even that's just not really the best jump normal in the game, but at the same time, I don't really need it to be. Ultimately, if you commit to jump 2, you're committing 1 to getting the combo in the air, 2, you're chancing things with them not jumping and meeting you in midair, and 3, you're actually trying to get the hit while they're grounded, while praying that, of course, you don't get anti-aired, because that's one big thing you risk whenever you commit to jump 2. Anti-airs are really good against her jump 2. Really good against that shit. It's really good against it, trust me. Jump kick, dude, jump kick is the universal option for everybody. That's not really saying much right there. How would I feel if they made back 3 a mid at 10 frames? No, don't take away her low. She needs it to be a low. I mean, if it can remain a low and go to 10 frames, kind of like Collector's back 3, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. But at the same time, I'd also, if I had to take either that or having the pop-up reaction right there that gives her a combo, I would take the pop-up reaction that gives her a combo because, to be honest with you, the payoff of her back 3 is just not good right now. It's just not good. And to be frank, I'd rather have an option that allows me to have a chance, especially in a variation like Fearless, where combos are really few and far between anyways, especially with the fan lift helping me out, that I'd much rather have something that aids me in that department than have that particular move, go down to 10 frames, especially if you're taking away its property on block. I mean, I'd rather have that mid and it stay 13 frames and it give me that pop-up reaction than the alternative. Especially if the 10 frame mid option goes to back 1. 10 frame, back 1 needs to be your 10 frame mid. Without question, her 10 frame mid needs to be back 1. And then on top of that, forward 2, I'd be okay with it staying at 15 frames if and only if they improve the hitbox on it such that it doesn't get low profile. Like what you just saw. You just saw it get low profile like hell by Cetrion's down 3, down 4, and the same thing happens across the board to anybody who has the same kind of move. At the end of the day, it's one of those kinds of things where you have to look at her design all the way around and just help her in the areas where she really needs the help. I mean, stand 2-1. I mean, look at this. 2-1, 4-3-4. You need to allow her to be able to special cancel that. This not being special cancelable for her air specials, unacceptable. And stand 2-1, not giving her some kind of plus frame on block frame trap or something that lets her keep her turn, so to speak. Since she doesn't really have, or not really have to be at risk of the opponent just constantly thinking, oh, it's my turn again, I can do whatever the hell I want. Something like that would help. Something like that would help, along with, let me go over here. Look at down 1. 9 frame startup on her down 1. Yeah, there's a good reason why going up against Garrus, no matter what variation that fucker's in, is almost a hard 6-4 for her. There's a good reason for that, and this right here, one of the core reasons. This right here, one of the core reasons. That right there, 9 frame down 1. That's -7 on block. I hit Garrus on block with my down 1. He down ones, it's automatically his turn. Automatically. Or any other character with a 6 framer, they're gonna get their turn back on hit, guaranteed every single time. Every single time. Alright? Down 3, it's 7 frames, but we've seen this range. I mean, look at her down 3. Look at this shit. I mean, it works as an okay anti-air, and I do stress okay anti-air. If your opponent gets smart enough to understand that all they need to do is use jump kicks against Kitana, given her normal moveset right now, then guess what? Down 3 as an anti-air really will not help you. It really just won't. Okay? Down 4, it's a very mediocre down 4, but I use it like hell because it's what she's got. It's a 10 frame normal, low hitting normal that, and it leads to a few things here and there for Fearless, but at the same time, when people begin to figure that shit out, it's just a matter of, what else do you have in your arsenal that can really help you mix things up? And unfortunately, you're getting a gist of just how limited she is in that regard. But ultimately, you see things like that, and then of course, I don't have to go into her wake up 2, up 3, but I will. You want to know something? I'll do that. I'll do that. Let me see something. Wait a minute. Alright, now I know what I'm doing. Look at that! Look at that shit! like, why? Now, I've been on record saying that every character should have a up to like Garrus. Or something like that that accomplishes the function that was supposed to be put in there across the board to reward you for a great read. It's supposed to be there to reward you for a great read, of course, at the expense of resources and whatever the case may be. It's supposed to reward you for making a good read. If Kitana makes a good read while using this particular move, you see the results! Look! Look! She's jumping towards me too, for fuck's sake. I even put that in there to show you, to just give you a visual representation of just how pathetic this looks. She's jumping at Kitana on this, and Kitana is flat out whiffing on her reversal when Cetrion is jumping forward. If Cetrion wanted to, she could do a jump in 2 or a jump in 3 and get something going off of this. And because I'm using a bar of offense and defensive meter, guess what I won't be able to do if I'm caught in that shit? What's up, Trix? What's up, Trix? Like, bro. I mean, shit. And then, of course, you know, we're talking about the heavy hitting characters like Garrus and all that shit, who basically, you know, they exist in the game, and next thing you know, they've got 7 crushing blows at their disposal. And, you know, those characters are going into the 300s, the 330s, the 340s, sometimes the 400s, 500s even with their damage. Kitana's having to try and get by taking little bite-sized chunks out of your health, you know, all of anywhere between 10% to 28%. I mean, with even with resources at times. And you have to go through so many hoops of fire in order to get crushing blows, get anything in the game that allows you to get any kind of help. Your fatal blow is one of the biggest scaling and least damaging fatal blows in the game. You've got no throw fatal blows. You've got no throw crushing blows or anything of the sort that really helps you on a fundamental level. And your normals, as I'm showing you guys now, you guys are seeing it with your eyes right now, how bad her normals really are and how much you're having to rely on a couple of mediocre tool sets in order to carry the day. I mean, you're really having to see just exactly what's going on. Yeah, people, the only thing people want to focus on, let me show you. All they want to focus on is fucking Highborn. All they want to focus on is this shit. All you want to focus on is this shit. And this is exactly why it's just like you can't convey anything to the NRS community. Let me just, I'm not going to record anything. I'm just going to put it on block. Normal. Oh, what the hell? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let me see something. No, I'm not gonna record. I want the frame data. I want frame data. Oh yeah, people and anti-airs. You want me to show? I'll show you something hilarious here in a moment. Don't you worry. Alright, so, here we go. Alright, so back to 1. Alright, so if you just stand block that shit, you're at neutral. I've been constantly telling people that Highborn is not what you think it is. It's good when she gets going, but if she has you on lockdown on block, There's so many rudimentary ways you can get away from this pressure. Aziz has covered some of it, but here's one thing that's just not been covered, especially from just one of her major tool sets. Back 1-4 into this shit. Alright, you can average anywhere between 0 and +1 while they stand block, but look at where you are. And I'm moving as close to them as I can, and guess what? You can't touch them. You can't touch them. You can't touch them. If somebody is smart enough to understand this, just stand block that shit if they're using back 1-4. Using back 1-4, I'm moving all the way up on Cetrion. Close razors. You ain't touching them. You ain't touching them. You ain't touching them. And on top of that, the razors are inconsistent as shit. You can average between 0, -1, and 0 +1, and then on top of that, there'll be times